Arden versus Baptiste, etc.
So what do we feel about that Baptiste captain pick last game for Fnatic? Because I feel like that was the weakness within their composition. It definitely felt like NetToilet was the one getting caught out.
Yeah, for sure. Against a Baptiste captain composition, you need to engage him, and whenever SK engaged and was more proactive, they won those fights. But if you let a Baptiste combo engage you and the Fearsome Shade comes out without being blocked, that composition is going to shine. So you can see here that Black Feather is banned. And I knew that this would be a point of contention for SK because they know Fnatic prioritize. And now because Black Feather is banned, Baron is going to be banned. So this is a very well thought out draft on both sides here. Both teams are known to be very specific and counter their opponent's draft and adjust their drafts to their opponents actually. So Grace being picked here means Lyra's open, so Fnatic should pick up Lyra here potentially, or maybe just Arden. We'll see what they decide.
Yeah, definitely a safe captain pick, though. Certainly seems like the good option. And you can already see just from those first two bans that this is going to be a very different game to what we've just seen between these two teams. And both of these teams have shown the capacity to really change playstyle depending on their composition. I'm very excited to see what is going to come out, but Fnatic starting off with a Vox here.
Yeah, if they pick Vox, they should have banned Grumpjaw unless they're going to leave it open for SK because Grumpjaw is not that good into Grace, but it is good with Grace. So banning Idris makes sense, but I felt like a Grumpjaw ban would have made more sense on the side of Fnatic. So let's see what SK may ban Koshka here potentially, but actually they're going to take away the Lyra from the Vox. So now this leaves Koshka, Grumpjaw, very strong combos open, but Fnatic's going to go ahead and secure the Baptiste, maybe potentially running as a captain again. We'll see.
Certainly that option available. What are your thoughts so far, Bacon? How are you feeling about this SK gaming draft?
It's definitely, I mean, they have plenty of options. Like I said, the Grumpjaw could still come through for them, but with the Grace, you want someone who can go diving in deep. Grumpjaw fits that bill. So does a potential Taka. Could be something that we've seen be run recently, but I don't know if that's something that Tyra's really wants to go picking up. They are going to go for that Grumpjaw, though.
So aggressive jungler locked in alongside that Grace, definitely something that can have huge power in the early game. And they've even shut out that Lyra, so a lot of openings going to be here early for SK Gaming.
Yeah, I think Grumpjaw makes sense. Hopefully they're going to run it at weapon. The other options they have here, they could potentially run like a mage in the lane, but I don't know if SK, I've never seen Kavalivar play any mages. But they may go with potentially double weapon composition, maybe run it with like a Glaive or a Ringo potentially. But let's go with Adagio actually. I forgot Adagio is one of the laners that can stutter step. So this is a really strong composition coming from SK. This is a lot of upfront damage and burst here. And then Fnatic's run it with Scarf.
And we have a double heal Grumpjaw composition. It's a couple of weeks since we've seen this, but last time we did see it, it destroyed its opponents. I can't even remember who was playing it, but we know that Adagio Grumpjaw with another healer mixed in can do terrifying things. How are we feeling about the drafts then? Because this is quite a squishy composition for Fnatic. I feel like difficult execution, but can be glorious.
Difficult execution is going to be about surviving until the late game. And that Baptiste, I think, is a really good pick for helping a team survive. That's so much disengage potential that they have there. But obviously, again, SK is a team that we know can be very cerebral, can end games quickly.
Yes.
And that's what they have to do this time around.
Yeah, we've got Tyra's on Grumpjaw. We saw that earlier today. We saw the powerhouse that is Tyra's Grumpjaw. How are you feeling about the drafts here, Sweetie?
SK has a much stronger early game composition. They need to win the early game and snowball it. Fnatic, if they get to the late game, like at the 20-minute mark-ish, they're going to win because Scarf with the Baptiste captain and Vox in the late game is very, very strong.
All right, well, it's going to be all about stalling for Fnatic. We've seen them do that a lot of times, though. That's something that Fnatic... I mean, that's kind of Fnatic's comfort zone, right? We've seen these aggressive comps have been a very recent thing. It feels like they're striving for that. But they've come from that kind of macro-focused, very passive play. And this lends into that playstyle. However, we've seen SK Gaming on Grumpjaw. We've seen SK Gaming with aggressive compositions. They're looking terrifying right now. It's 1-0 to Fnatic. SK looking to even things up. Let us know who you're voting for. Hashtag Vainglory on Twitter. But with that, it's time to jump into Game 2 of our European final.
All right, let's go. Game 2 of our finals here. SK Gaming versus Fnatic. Once again, coming out with some very fun drafts, Jingy, and we're gonna see a little Adagio. I think you were kind of hyped up on that.
I was. I've not seen an Adagio in a very long time. It feels very, very long actually. I'm just gonna emphasize how long it's been. It's been very long. Sorry, I've had too much coffee. But a jungle scarf, Pamatoro, and we're seeing that Toilette. He's the one. He's the one that's going for this Baptiste roam.
Raph gets revenge on Net. Net cleared out his level 1 scout trap like first thing he did last game. Raph just does the same thing. Net had looped around, so he had positioning advantage, but Raph will be able to get out of here, no problem. He's also holding boots, like if he even decided to play games there. I also want to say, you know, we look at chat from time to time, Twitch chat, and there's this huge discussion today. I think, Shingy, we could just put that one to rest, can't we?
I feel like SK and Fnatic, they are looking incredibly strong. Kivalifar.
I love that you just completely ignored the whole thing. Kivalifar, you can't get out of there. First blood going to Fnatic. Fnatic trying to come through with the 2-0 here for the fans.
I had to let you have the first blood. So, I mean, EU versus NA, that's a time-old discussion that I think is never going to be settled, ever. Like, ever.
Well, I can settle it right now. NA greater than EU, team. I mean, you know, sometimes you gotta say what your heart tells you.
I thought you were a factual man. You said that in the last game. You're like, I believe the facts and nothing but the facts.
Oh, the facts? I believe the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do not.
So help me, Fnatic.
Well,
but to be fair, East Asia better than North America.
Yeah.
South America greater than all at Worlds this year. Only time can tell. But right now, this is all about Europe, team. This is all about the big plays, the big holy novas! Raph, who is this guy? The benediction comes in. Tyrus is here with the grump shot. He's hungry. He's grumpy. He finds a kill. He's looking for another, but he doesn't have the cooldowns. He'll have to peel off. Palmatoro, not strong enough of a baby dragon just yet.
Not strong enough just yet. That Scar's going to take a little bit of time to scale up. But going into Grumpjaw Grace, it should be relatively easy from Lando's Fan the Flame. Fan the Park.
Flame the fans!
Flame
That's
the
what
fans.
I was doing in
Flame
chat
the
just now.
fire.
I just dropped a little love in there. But people should know that I'm kidding around. Honestly, it's fun, right? It's fun to root for something. That's why.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
it's
what
always
sports
it's always
is
fun
about.
to poke. But people, they take it so seriously. They're like, "Oh, you said that? That's what you really feel." No, man. These guys are incredible players. You know, just because you're like a season or two behind doesn't mean anything. They will soon catch up, and we could see Europe easily win Worlds.
Definitely. I want to see Palmatora applying a bit of pressure to that turret, that first turret, especially with a Scarf. You want to be taking advantage of that. You definitely do, actually. And
Well,
JJ.
At this point, it's hard though. I mean, K-Vol keeps himself constantly regioned up. Raph's a very good front line. Actually, the Grace is quite the delivery system for the Arcane Fire. If you just drop that Gift of Fire, Raph, as you know, he Benedicts forward, boom, splash, boom, buffed up. Now you're going to town, and that it's not even taking it into account, Tyrus.
No, they aren't. And Rav, I think his playstyle suits Grace very well. He used to be a laner, I think one of the best in Europe before back in the day, and that kind of aggressive playstyle, because he used to love those heroes like Ringo and Vox as well. So he's kind of very much in your face as a laner, and as a captain, I think it's really transitioned very well. Especially that Grace, he's doing it so well. And like you said, it's gonna be very easy for Kivalfar to be landing that Gift of Fire if Rav is just all up in Fnatic's faces.
All up in their faces. They are indeed. SK playing very well right now. Let's be real. SK, the only team that was able to take a game off of Cloud9. Well, the only team from Europe at the last Unified Championship. So SK, they got some special stuff, and I can't wait to see how they progress moving forward. The thought of the next Unified Championship coming up, I'm already hyped, dude. I know we're like quite some time out, but I'm already hyped on it. Like I feel like it's gonna be so good.
It is going to be very good. I feel like Europe, they've been upping their game steadily, and I think these Unified Championships are a really good way of doing that, because it kind of allows both of the regions to kind of just, it's one thing watching them play, and then one thing actually playing against them, allowing that meta to develop. You can see over the weekend as well, transitions so quickly is absolutely incredible. Tyrus, do you know that Scout Trap's in there?
Nope. Oh no. Alright, they're able to clear out the Scout Trap. SK now is unit moving through. AC picked up for Kvolafar. And this is SK actually hitting a nice little power spike. These guys ready to fight, very much so. Are we looking for any items, any level power spikes or anything across the map right now? Tyrus with the Grumpy, he's not going to connect. Not going to connect with the stuffed either. This should give us time to talk about those things.
Yeah, so in terms of power specs right now, I feel like SK are sitting very comfortably. You have that fountain available, you have the tension, you have the alternating current. And if you look at the side of Fnatic, Palmator doesn't really have his first damage. Well, never mind, he just picked up that Frostburn there, so that's going to be a big power spec there. So I think for Scarf anyway, getting that broken myth next, being able to build up your broken myth stacks, just taking that backline approach. Yes, you do have a Grumpy out there that can make life very difficult for a Scarf, and now that he is level 6, he has that ability available, and they don't have a reflex block yet, but he did miss his last one, so they know they've got a few seconds or a little bit of time to
But
wait.
the thing is, like, honestly, you don't even need a reflex block, really, if you just have vision. Netolette getting chunked down very quickly there, as SK able to find them out. And Fnatic are going to clump as 3, look for the defense on this turret here. SK applying pressure, Tyrus down to the south side. He's waiting 5 seconds for that stuffed ability to come up. Let's see if he's going to jump in there and grab a target. He has boots ready to go, so if he gets a target, he can just run right back out of there with him. Fnatic pretty low. He has a huge burst damage at this point. He could choose Netolette or Techno JJ. Probably killed him instantly before the fountain could even come out.
Oh.
Raf's on the front side. They've got the Ordained. No, Kivalfar's held in place. SK with the throws. What are you doing? Dragon's Breath out of Palmatoro. Just get wrecked, SK. SK on the run, but not the kind of run that SKG want. SK melting down to Fnatic there. And Fnatic just turning up, looking for that 2-0.
They're looking for that 2-0, and if they get the 2-0, it's a 3-way tie going to next splits. And you know, the first game was pretty dominant from them. This one looks really strong as well. They've managed to turn it around, pick up the kill there on Kivalfar pretty easily there. And that's the thing about this adage, you need to be taking this backline approach, and they were able to dive on top of him. It's kind of similar in that with Netolette on that Batista's positioning is everything for this composition. He cannot frontline there as easily as that Grace can.
No, it makes you wonder, what was he thinking? Yo, that would be the best Vainglory segment. Oh my god, I would love if we can do a new segment. That would be what it's called. I mean, what were you thinking? And I have an interview with the player the week after. We can watch the replay back and it'll be like, so, what were you thinking?
And just zoom in on the player's face as well. Then everybody can just be like, what were you thinking?
Just like the slow-mo as Kivalfar's eyes open up widely as he remembers the moment where he stepped forward as an adagio ordained by Netolette. Grumpy, stuffed. Netolette not able to block up the stuff, and they move back. The gift of fire applied. This is going to be Kivalfar buffed up, starting to chug him down, but the fountain keeps him alive just for a second. Tyrus burning down to Palmator. He's there. Grace getting melted as well. The mortal wound applied. Techno chasing for Techno. Hey, gets him with the last hit. Level 7 Techno on this Vox, and we know he loves that Vox. Palmatoro wrapping around the bottom. 2 versus 1. You thought maybe he'd go for Kivalfar with a little Spitfire group combo, but he's going to take the Trin. And now he's going to move up here. Palmatoro. Can he connect? I didn't misread the situation. No. The first coming out, Kivalfar. You played yourself. Palmatoro missed the Spitfire. Dude. Oh, no. In this week's edition of What Were You Thinking,
There's going to be 2 segments.
we talk about Verse of Judgments. Break it down, Shingy. What's going on?
Break it down. What were you thinking? I mean, the decision making there, okay, had Palmator hit the Spitfire, actually, I'm not even sure the Verse of Judgment was a good idea to start channeling. It's got a long cooldown, 67 seconds. And also, if you look at the farm as well, Techno JJ, 93 to Kivalfar, 70.
And Kivalfar used an infusion to go ahead and, like, stop the bleeding. So that puts him even further behind.
It does put him even further behind in terms of itemization. They weren't able to get the lead off the back of the infusion that they wanted. And actually what's scary is Fnatic were able to turn that around with SK having 2 infusions on their side as well. Tyrus with a level 8, Kivalfar with a level 6 infusion.
Alright, Tyrus moves in one more time with the Grumpy. But have they overstepped themselves? And you see, they just throw the Spitfire in the goop, and Fnatic's like, okay, chase if you want to. They have a Fearsome Shade ready to go as well. Wrath. We'll keep our eyes on that Crucible, man. It's going to be so important that he's able to block that ability off, but at the same time, we were wondering, like, will the wait for it connect? What's going to happen then? Tyrus, no block. Kivalfar, no block. You imagine they'll be building into it here shortly. But as of this point right now, this guy's very vulnerable.
Everyone's very vulnerable. I think Techno JJ has probably got the most defense, but if you look at Palmator, if you look at Tyrus, if you look at Kivalfar, they're all so squishy there. If you can focus onto one member, I think that's the thing we're lacking right now from SK, is that there's no target focus. They're kind of split between all three members, and I think part of that is, you know, Dazio, he's landing his Arcane Fire on multiple targets, and it feels a bit off at this point about whether or not who they're wanting to go on. I feel like Palmatoro, he's the easiest target here, because the whole time he's got that broken myth, he's just stacking up in the background.
How is he the easiest target if you can't get to him?
You have a Grumpjaw and a Grace. You've got this combination of a Benediction and a Grumpy/Stuffed.
But the only way they get on top of him is if they face check a brush or have poor positioning. You could throw, like, okay, War Treads, you run right at them, but it feels so telegraphed. It feels like almost like it's just like a Fortress comp. Like, they just have to run at you. But the whole time, Fnatic's just like, okay, we're ready to kite backwards, no problem. And then when you have the Vox, it's like, if SK take too much damage, the Vox just turns it around and chases you down.
Dare I say, I would wait for Net2Let. Wait for them. Okay, so what I'll do is, if I was SK, I'd wait for Net2Let to use that Ordain, know that he doesn't have the ability available, so they can't block that stuff coming at you. Wait for Raph to get the War Treads and just War Tread in.
Yeah. Get the War Tread in. Alright, let's get into this. Basically, this is like... This game feels like it's just coming down to, like, can Fnatic land abilities? Check. Yes, you can. No, have yourself a win. We'll see right now. That's gonna be the stuffed, blocked up. Net2Let, just a stuffed blocking god. Tetno, letting SK know he doesn't really fear them on this side of the brush. Goldminer started up by SK. This is pretty clean so far. Can they close out Net trying to steal it, but it's gonna go the way of SK. Tetno getting good damage down. He has his infusion ready. Dragon's Breath around the backside. Net2Let moving forward. Tyrus melted down. Kvolifar falling as well. Fnatic, phenomenal performance here. I really like what they're doing.
Yeah, they're looking on form to pick up this 2-0 win. Of course, things can change, but 8-2 right now. And Fnatic, I feel like they could really just pick up that second turret there with this minion push there. And kind of the issue is there, we saw Raph, he put the fountain out, he tried to get the Divine Intervention down. It just wasn't enough. Palmator, he had 5 broken myth stacks, level 11 infusion. That Dragon's Breath just kind of pierced through all the shield that Tyrus had, and the not very much shield that Kvalifar had.
It was good. It was real good. It's always the most beautiful thing when you're like just in the middle of the team fight. You sense that it's starting to go your way, and all of a sudden your Scarf's like, yo, I got this. Got my broken myth stacks, Dragon's Breath to come out, and they just try to run, but they can't. Melting them down. Phenomenal stuff. Once again, this is what we said before. Fnatic doing a great job. They'll be able to defend any sort of push coming from SK. Kvolifar has his broken myth. I mean, he has potential to find damage output, but it's just like Fnatic really have to allow that to happen.
Yes, it's not, I think, okay, so the question of damage output right now is that SK, they do have the damage output. I think they're just not withstanding long enough. Tyrus there, if you look at what he has as a weapon, Grumpjaw, it is actually very scary to look at. But he's getting burst down very quickly by TechnoJJ and by Palmatoro. And that therein is the issue. Is that you just need that little bit more defense. Kvalifar, very comfortable sitting there on the front line. You have this combination of a Grace Grumpjaw. It's a very tanky front line, but it doesn't feel that way so far.
Nope. Nope. Sure does not feel that way. 14 minutes in, 8-2. Net worth advantage going the way of Fnatic. SK, they're going to pick up a couple infusions for themselves. Looks like they're either ready to try and make something happen, or they feel that Fnatic are about to make some moves on the map. Either way, we know Kraken will be spawning here within the minute. That's probably the reason that they're going to go and pick up those infusions. They know it's incredibly important. A big team fight here could spell a reversal of this game. But I don't know, this is Palmatoro moving up. They're not infused themselves, but they have item advantage.
They definitely have it. TechnoJJ, he has enough gold there, 1400 gold. Palmatoro and... Well, Palmatoro does not have enough there to infuse. Neither does Net2Let. So if they do choose to infuse, which TechnoJJ has, these fights could be going either way. We are seeing Tyrus, he's got that kinetic shield now. Maybe he has a little bit more chance of withstanding those Spitfires and the goops are being thrown out. Hang on a second. This could be the fight. They're lining up into position.
Grumpy over the wall. Tyrus lands on a 3. Palmatoro getting chunked down. You said it. You gotta get onto Palmatoro. That's what they try to do. Benediction in the back lines, but Kvolifar can't follow through. The fearsome shade from Net2Let, forcing SK back. That was an opportunity, and opportunity was not seized on this day.
But to be honest, not a bad one. It was not a bad trade-off. Raph has held onto his fountain. They're able to force it from Net Toilette, and he's still holding onto Divine Intervention. Actually, if you look at it at the end of it, SK are still looking pretty good off the back of that. However, those infusions are ticking down. Palmatoro.
So why didn't they commit to the fight if they still had Fountain, Divine Intervention, and Palmatoro was almost dead?
Tenno JJ was building up breaking point stacks with a level 11 infusion, and they were under turret. At that point, you're making a very risky move that, at this point of the game, you're 1-0 in a series of the finals. You want to be just a little bit more careful, and they did that. You know, one mistake at this point could just lose them the game.
You make a valid point. I'm not going to fight you on that one. SK doing very interesting maneuvers around the map right now. Honestly, it's probably one of the best things they could do. Just kind of, we were talking about like the pace of the game, dictating the pace of the game. SK kind of starting to do that by taking Crystal Sentry and then moving forward, taking control of the right tri-brush, moving back and forth. So it makes it a little harder to predict exactly where they are. Fnatic spending a little more time than they had been in the early game, trying to track SK down.
Yes, and they weren't able to block SK from infusing, because we do see all three members with those infusions up. Kivafars is about to run out. In terms of fight, this is not what SK wants.
Rap's like, oh, your infusion's running out? Well, let me Benedict right into the middle of this one. Tires was ordained up, but it's going to time out. He's not forced back.
There's no
Looks like
gold.
pretty much everything's ready to go for these teams, though. Like, should they get into a skirmish here?
I think once Kefalfar gets a go, then Raph will be able to get his war chest, and Kefalfar will... Kefalfar? Kefalafel. Oh god.
Kefalafel?
I don't know where that came from. But Kefalfar, he will be able to infuse, so we see the infusions coming out, the war chest have been picked up, as I said. This puts SK in a much better position to fight. And look, it's looking good. I feel like they are comfortable enough now.
I feel like if Bayou was in this game, it would just be over already. He would have just ended this game single-handedly. He'd be like, team, I'm leading you to battle. And everybody rally around him. Raph Wartreads, he channels his inner Bayou. He moves in with the benediction. Yeah, it's gonna actually provide that shield just for a second. Have you gone too far? Dragon's Breath coming out. Oh, into the fearsome shade, get comboed. SK getting wrecked. Just put right into the ground. You can all just respawn together, hold hands while you do it. Fnatic taking that fight. Plus, if we had style points to give them for taking very amazing fights, they would probably get some style points as well on top of that. Just dismantling, destroying, disintegrating SK.
They did. We saw the engage. We saw the war chest going in with the engage, but you know, chasing Fnatic into their Crystal Sentry, it may not have been the best idea, but that was an opportunity that Fnatic recognized. They're like, they've used the war treads. Palmatoro can now use his Dragon's Breath. And with that Frostburn, there is not much they can do to escape. And I think this is probably one of the instances where the double war treads would work really well. One for engaging into a fight and one for disengaging from that Dragon's Breath. And you need to be able to do that because all three members of SK just burned down so quickly the whole time. He was stacking up on Broken Myth. Palmataro, I think the unsung hero of this particular game.
I mean...
Unsung? We all know it.
Yeah, it's like we know it. Net also, the Fearsome Shades have been awesome. Tetno also hit the wave for it as well. I'm really impressed. Fnatic have turned it up, but we've seen this time and time again from Fnatic where they just played like gods and then they show up the next week and it's not the same thing. We'll see what can happen here. They're going to block off the Fearsome Shade and jump in. SK have an opportunity. Palmatoro shot down. They have overstayed their welcome and... Hey, that's a nice little combo coming out. They're going to throw the stuff right into the Burst of Judgment. Nettoilette's still alive somehow. Tetno trying to kite back. Tetno gets one. Tetno, is he going to get two? 18 breaking point stacks. He's thinking about staying around, but the Kraken still doing work. SK have to get back to go ahead and deal with that. Tetno is going to go ahead and port out. Is he? Tetno playing games. Tetno, he's thinking about getting in there. Honestly, just do it, dude. Oh, come on, Tetno. Be a player. You have people watching this game. They want to see you make some plays.
Or the throws. No one wants to see the throws at this stage of the game, do they?
Are you kidding me? Everybody tunes in for the throws. I bet you if we clipped a game ending like the way it was just about to end, or we clipped the throw would have way more views.
Well, everybody loves a throw just because you just cringe at it. You're like, oh, what were you thinking? You know, there's another segment that could have been used.
What were you thinking?
What were you thinking? And it looks like Tyrus is actually going to be going for the second pair of war treads. I think that's definitely needed, but he is also, what, 700 gold off from it? Nay, 500 gold off now.
Alright, we'll see if he can find that gold here. What a precarious position for SK Gaming. I'm sure the SK fans waiting with bated breath in the chat right now, waiting to see what happens here as they watch their favorite team with their backs against the wall. And let's be fair about this one. They got wrecked this game. Fnatic really took it to them hard. Kind of no mercy. And the net worth's not that different. Like, net worth overall, not a huge deal. But you look at the kills, you look at map objectives, it's just like a destruction.
It's definitely a situation we've seen a lot where one team has been forced back to the crystal, and yet the gold differential is not that much between the two teams. Tyra's still about 80 gold off from that war tres, and SK, they're stuck in that difficult position of, do we see a Fnatic go for the Kraken, or are they just going to rush for the base? And Raf's done a good job so far of placing a lot of scout traps down. Tyra's now has enough gold for those war tres, which I believe he will be picking up. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Do they now have the tools they need?
Yes, because their infusions are still there. I think they've got about a minute left, but if they run out in the middle of the fight, that's not great. Palmator is going to miss that Spitfire there.
Ooh, Net's got an echo. It's over, dude. Game's over. Net, just start the fight. Bad Mojo, the Ordained, onto Raph. Raph stunned up. He's going to Crucible after being stunned. That's not what you wanted. War Tread's used. They're going to go ahead and reposition, get back into that. This is the engage. They're moving in. One Fearsome Shade coming through. Let's see. How about another one going the other way as Net Toilette drops it down on him. Tyrus melts as his teammate can't do anything. Versus Judgment will be coming out, but a double kill triple kill coming through for Techno JJ. Techno, honestly, quietly becoming just one of the best laners in the world. I do think so. This guy, he was never the guy that just won championships. He hasn't been on that team yet, but every single time that Fnatic does well, Techno JJ is playing like a monster.
That is absolutely true, and you also say quite a lot. Net Toilette, he's one of your favorite captains to watch. Techno JJ, I think he's really beginning to come online, with his in terms of his skill and ability. I think that the last two games that we've seen have really, demonstrated that for him.
Well, demonstrated great stuff indeed, but Xingyi, this is the end of the road, is it not?